Hi, Dr. Dave Webster, and welcome back to my website. And this particular video is to Dr. Les Levin. Dr. Les Levin is an oncologist or cancer doctor by trade or by training, and he is the senior medical advisor to the Ministry of Health for the government. Excuse me. And Dr. Levin has been in this capacity for quite some time, and in particular has been the senior medical advisor during the most controversial times of the introduction of PET scanning in Ontario. You will recall that we are, in fact, our patients have the most restricted access in the world, and the government has done this using something called evidence-based medicine, which I've covered elsewhere on the video. But the bottom line is, or on the website, but the bottom line is that the evidence-based medicine tool is scientifically baseless. And experiments that the government has done using evidence-based medicine have been declared officially as unethical by national bodies of experts in science and medicine. Anyway, my colleagues and I had been behind the scenes trying respectfully to approach the government with the various questions and issues that we had about PET, and without exception they simply refused to acknowledge in most cases they ever met with us, and certainly did not respond to the questions and the direct questions that we had that were of any value for them to answer. So I said, you know what, I was the president of the Ontario Association of Nuclear Medicine at the time. I'm going to meet with Dr. Les Levin. I mean, after all, he is the senior medical advisor for the province of Ontario and the Ministry of Health. So I met with Dr. Levin. We had a long conversation and so on, but the key point was this, was that I asked him about this evidence-based medicine tool, and his response was interesting. He said, well, Dave, that's not really respected medicine. I mean, this is the kind of thing you'd see in the back pages of medical journals. Fine, because that's what my colleagues and I were thinking, right? I thought, well, I'm confused. Maybe they're not using this tool, whatever. Anyways, as I was leaving his office, he stopped me and said, Dave, I just want you to know that, we're just trying to do what's best for Ontario's cancer patients. To this day, I still can't believe that he actually said that. After the meeting, I wrote him a long letter. I was quite angry at that point because I thought he'd really messed me around, and I sent him that letter. That letter was actually widely distributed to the Ministry of Health people. My colleagues and I, when we met with him, this was part of the information package we gave to them. And I asked a large number of questions to Dr. Levin. The bottom line is Dr. Levin refused to answer a single question of relevance. He simply said, Dave, if there's any evidence to support PET, please show it to me. How ironic, isn't it, that Dr. Levin actually was going to be supporting the use of evidence-based medicine, something called the Health Technology Assessment Tool, to evaluate the literature or the scientific evidence that I might have presented to him. So he's using a scientifically baseless tool to evaluate PET. And of course, that's exactly how they have taken us to last place. They've chosen to ignore the world literature and use this evidence-based medicine tool, which the entire world understands is simply a government policy tool, which allows government expert advisory bodies to get the answers governments need to implement the policies they want. So this particular video is a challenge to Dr. Levin to first and foremost finally answer me directly. I know there's no evidence, but I've asked you before and you've refused to answer it. Dr. Levin, is there any scientific evidence to support the use of your evidence-based medicine tools to evaluate the role of any diagnostic piece of equipment, be it PET or otherwise? And certainly I want scientific evidence that has the kind of rigorous proof that would justify the use of this tool to make such critical decisions that have now restricted patients' access to PET, to the most restricted access in the world. But secondly, what I want you to do is to use the breast PET cancer trial that the PET Steering Committee ran. You were part of the PET Steering Committee. That they exposed some 300 women to non-trivial amounts of radiation with an experiment that was deliberately designed to fail. It was that very experiment that led to the motions condemning these trials as unethical by the Canadian Society of Nuclear Medicine in 2005. But I want you to use that PET breast cancer trial to do two things. First of all, to use that as an example to show us why evidence-based medicine is such a vital tool, one that you've mentioned to me before and have made comments that you're very proud of this, that Ontario is introducing PET the right way. Please use that breast PET trial to justify the use of the evidence-based medicine. And secondly, more importantly, is I want you to use the breast PET cancer trial on those women to explain why what the Ministry of Health was doing was just what's best for Ontario's cancer patients. So for those watching the video, please, the contact information is there. I assure you that evidence-based medicine is not just being used to evaluate PET. This is part of the larger process by which the government makes critical decisions about your health care, and you need to be worried. The Canadian Cancer Care Advocacy Coalition in 2006 said if you do not want access to modern diagnostic imaging management of your cancers, i.e. PET scanning, or treatment, move to Ontario. The only thing they were wrong about was the fact that it's not just cancer patients that are being affected. It's all of us in a wide range of disease of situations in medicine. So the contact information for Dr. Levin is there. Please make use of it. And he's refused to respond to the questions that I put forward to him and my colleagues and I have. So maybe if en masse we ask Dr. Levin to finally stand up and defend his use of evidence-based medicine using the PET breast cancer trial to explain why this is such a great tool and why it's what was best for Ontario cancer patients. I'm hoping you'll do so because we need to bring about change. We need to bring about justice for cancer patients in Ontario, and in particular the women who took part in that breast cancer trial that was declared unethical. Thanks.